What?
Like, wow.
Hey guys, we have a nice warm January day here, so I thought I'd get out in the woods and get my existing lines pulled tight, get everything ran the way I want it to be for when the start of season comes, and maybe get in a couple new lines that I have the trees all marked out on the back part of the property. I don't know if we're gonna have enough daylight to do that here today, but we'll give it a try. Okay, so what I'm going to be doing here is this existing line here, I'm at the end of it, the top uphill end of it. I'm going to be walking this downhill, pulling it tight, stretching it as tight as I can, and when I get to the bottom, I'm going to secure it so that it is has the proper level to it throughout, and it is as tight as can be with no sags in it. See, this line has quite a bit of slack in it, but you got to get all that out of there. So what I'll do first is I'll pull it tight, and I'll walk back up the hill, and I really make sure I got the levels right. Got these wild grapevines growing in here. Can really make it a mess. It's a lot easier to do with two people. The kids had a snow day today, or an ice day today at school, so Katie's at home with them doing some arts and crafts projects. Okay, so what I have here is my line coming down the hill. We're changing up the layout this year. That line's gonna run all the way down to the road. We're gonna have a collection barrel there. The last couple years I had several of these lines running down to this line that went out to the sugar shack and dumped into a barrel. I don't think we got as much production as we could have. I think the lines were overloaded, so we're gonna put a barrel down there by that big oak tree, and so I need to splice in another line. So what I think I'm going to do is just reuse this old line here. I only need about 30 feet of it, and I'll splice it into the existing line, and then we'll go and pull everything tight again. So we're going to do the same thing. We're going to give it a few inches, start up here and loosen this up. fittings, or my end line. Now this portion here will drain into a barrel that we're going to have right at this tree. I'm going to actually have 2 lines draining into this barrel, and it's right off our path, so it'll be easy to collect. Okay, so I have my first line pulled fairly tight, and now I got to go back up and make sure it's level. I'm pretty sure it's level at the top of the hill. Coming down the hill, I have quite a bit of slope, so I'm not super concerned about that, but I just want to go kind of get everything straightened out, and then I'll move on to the next line. Okay, so this is the line that I just hand tightened. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a bit of a sag in this section here. Can't have that, so I'm going to put in some supporting lines to tighten that up a bit. Okay, now this is that same section of rope. I've got it pulled back and tied off to that tree there, and now there's no slack in it. And so the way I tied it off in 2 different points here, because I found that when I had tied it with just one, it was kinking the tubing a bit, and so this, now it's a nice gradual curve. Extra unhelp? Yeah. No, I'm ready for extra help. You guys are just in time for the hard stuff. Huh? You guys are just in time for the hard work.
What do we need to do? Use sledgehammers and stuff?
No sledgehammers. I think,
Can I be in the video?
Sure. Come over here and wave hi.
Hi!
Okay, so I've got my original 3 lines pulled fairly taut, and should be good to go. Right before season, I'll come on out and I'll straighten them out again, because they do tend to sag as the weather gets a little warmer. It probably won't look like much on camera. These are 2 of the lines running down the hill, and then the 3rd one's over here running down the hill. Okay, so I got my 3 main lines from last year reconfigured, and I added 1 extra line here today with 5 taps on it. We'll have to come out another day and actually put the drops in on this, and then add a couple more lines, and then we should be good to go for the season. Okay guys, that'll be the last maple syrup video I do until the season starts. Once we get closer to the season, then I'll do a tapping video, and I'll show the evaporator and the sugar shack and things like that. Right now, there's not much more I can do until we get closer to the season, so that'll be the last maple syrup video. I will try to continue to do other videos. I'd like to get back out to the log cabin and do a more in-depth video on that, you know, how we built it and what our plans are for in the future out there. I am going to be taking a break here over the next week and a half from YouTube, so don't be expecting any videos uploaded. If you guys like this video, leave a comment, hit subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.